All right, guys. So in this video, I'm gonna be going over basically what made me my first $10,000 in real estate, what made me successful as a self-independent contractor, how did I make money in this business. If you're someone that's looking to get into real estate, just got your real estate license, or you're even just a business owner, entrepreneur on your own that's trying to generate business, this mindset shift, these things that I'm going to talk about in this video are going to help you get there and help you bridge that gap from no income at all to five five figures a month and from there on. So let's get into it. I'll show you what worked for me, what actually you have to change to get to where you want to be. Three key actions you need to do to be successful. You need to change, you need to consume, you need to implement. I'm going to go over what I mean by each of these. Change is obvious. You have to change as a person. You have to change your mindset. You have to change your beliefs. Everything about you has to change to become the business owner that you're aspiring to be. You have to consume and you have to implement. Information and implementation is the two things that most people cannot get right and cannot do at the same time, cannot do simultaneously. They can either do one or the other, but they cannot do both. That is the big difference between you making zero to no money or $10,000 a month. This is me, probably October, November of 2023. Just got my real estate license, just was 19 or 20, and 6 to 7 months later, I'm driving a Corvette. In the picture on the left with the Mustang, at the time I had no credit cards, right? I had maybe $1,000, $2,000 in my bank account. Smoking weed all the time, partying all the time, bad habits, just complete nonsense. I had all the hunger and ambition, but I had no knowledge, no routine, no habits. And in that little arrow in the middle, that's where I built myself. I built my mindset. I built my lifestyle. I built my habits. And the result of that was $80,000 car, $100,000 in the bank, new haircut, new lifestyle, new routine. All these sort of things played a factor into who I was as a person, and it was a direct correlation to my sales and to my success in the business, and that's how it has to be for you. But I swear to God, look, that's such a small time frame. It literally only took 6 to 7 months of just being focused and changing and implementing and innovating my lifestyle to get success in my business. So let's get into exactly what I mean by each term. Change. The old you is now dead. You are a professional. You have to be trusted. You are a real estate agent. You cannot be the same version of yourself you were in your past life. If that means you were, shy, not very outgoing, then you have to change that and work on that. If you aren't a professional in this business, people can see straight through that. And that's anything. If you're an entrepreneur in general, if you're not trusted and you're not confident in your words, people see through bullshit. And the more confident they are in you, the more confident they are in your product, the more they will use your service. If you have bad habits, you have to overcome them now and throw away all limiting beliefs. At the time, I had so many bad habits with smoking and drinking and just being around people and not being who I needed to be successful on a day-to-day basis, because you don't realize when you're doing that stuff on the weekend, doing that stuff at night, not in a routine, it lingers into your next day, and by then it's 3, 4, 5 p.m. and people have already made their money. They've already hit the leads that you were supposed to hit. The limiting beliefs part, I used to think that, I'm young, that's why I can't be successful in this. It's hard to make $100,000. Like, it'll come. That's all bullshit. That's all your mind trying to keep you comfortable and keep you stagnant, essentially. If you throw away the limiting beliefs, you'll grow as a person in your mind and in your life and in your pockets at the end of the day. You have to become the successful version of yourself right now, right now, right now, today. You have to change your mindset. You have to change your habits, change your lifestyle, change your circle, change all these things that if you could look at your life, in 10 years, you had a little magnet or crystal ball and you can see yourself millionaire, business owner, whatever it is you're doing. What type of lifestyle do you think that version of yourself looks like? I'm sure it looks like early mornings. I'm sure it looks like eating the right food, not smoking weed every day, not partying on the weekends. All those things tie into success and generating money. So to be able to handle the money when the results do come and keep it going, you have to develop that person that you want to be right now, even though you don't have money in the results yet. Step 2, consume. You have to become the expert now. You must know everything. You in real estate, any business in general, but real estate obviously, you have to know everything that's going on. And there's 50 different planets that you're pulling information from in this business, but people expect you to know everything because this is your business. You would be pissed off if you went to the grocery store and you asked someone where this item was and they didn't know. That might happen sometimes, but most of the time they're going to figure it out because that's their job. That's what they're there for. That's the service they provide. Same thing with you. Step two, rates, inflation, pricing, construction, inspections. The list goes on. You must study and learn all of it because it all ties into the transaction. And again, the more you show people that you're knowledgeable and you're trustworthy, the more likely they are to work with you, and the more likely you are to get paid. And the more you build you build confidence in yourself, they'll build confidence in you, vice versa, and it'll play a factor in the transaction, and your business will just keep growing. The only way to become trusted by clients is to prove your knowledge, prove your value. I kind of already said that. That's any business, whether you're a business owner in general, you're a clothing brand, you're an e-com store, you're this, that, and the other, you're in real estate. You have to prove your worth, prove your value. There's a million people trying to start a clothing brand. There's a million real estate agents. There's a million companies that could buy your house without a real estate agent. You have to prove your value and why you are the best option for them and why you are going to help them through this transaction and be the most beneficial person for them in this transaction. Step three, implementation. This is huge. A lot of people will study, go to college, study a course, do this, that, and the other, and take all this information, and they know it, they're smart, but they can't put it into real world situations. They can't implement it. They can't have that uncomfortable conversation with the client. They can't say the objection or overcome the objection that they know the answer to, but they just can't say it because it's quite awkward, or they just honestly can't translate it. That is the biggest thing, because what good is information if you're not be able to put it into a real world situation? So step one, anyone can consume, can study, but can you produce? Can you put it into action? Can you put your thoughts and all that work you've put in behind the scenes into real world situations? There's going to be uncomfortable conversations you have to have. There's going to be people that push your limits that you're going to have to know how to respond in certain situations emotionally, logically, all these sort of things. You have to be able to implement what you know in the real world situations to see the results. If you can't do this and have the uncomfortable conversations and retain information and actually put it vocally into the relationship with your clients, then the results won't come. That's the difference in people that everyone tries to generate business, but the people that actually generate and get business to the closing table are the people that put the information into real world situations. If you think you know something and you want to tell them, you have to tell them. You have to speak up. Again, prove your value, prove your worth. All these things are just things you're doing for yourself that are getting you closer and closer to the closing table. This will build confidence in yourself, the client's confidence in you. Again, what good is information if you can't put it to use? The more you speak and put it into words, that the information you've learned and the information you've studied, the easier and more second nature you'll learn it yourself. You won't have to worry about, am I saying this wrong? Was that wrong? No. If you actually say it and you believe it and it's right, you'll be reassured by the client's response and you'll be reassured by yourself. And the more confident you are in yourself, people see that, they relate to that, they want confidence, and on and on. The more deals you close, the more confident you'll be. Clients will have more confidence in you because they can see you're confident in yourself. If you're not confident in yourself, they're not going to be confident in you, because why would they want someone to represent them that's not confident in their work and themselves? Moving forward to each pillar. Change. So the old you is gone at this point in your life. If you want to be successful in this business or any entrepreneurial business venture, you have to change, and that's the main first step. The main first thing before any results come, before any system comes, before any routine comes, is you have to change. You have to change your mindset. You have to change your habits, and you have to change your lifestyle. On the left, that is literally me right around that time when I had my real estate, when I just got my license. In the club, smoking, doing all this stupid shit that wasn't getting me towards my goal. And of course, it's okay to have fun, but when you're doing this every weekend and it's Sunday night and you still feel hungover, your Monday morning is going to suck. And then that's going to linger into your Tuesday. And now the first 2 days of your week have sucked, and the whole week ends up sucking. You have to change as a person. Where are your priorities? If your priorities is making that first $10,000 in real estate, then you will do everything in your power and miss every opportunity that would be for fun to get those results. And those two next pictures to the right, I'm starting to change. I'm starting to work on my business and understand that I have to take this more serious. I have to be presentable. My mindset has to be clear all the time. My mindset has to change from what I was as a kid to I'm now an adult. I'm now a professional. I have to act like one and be one. Your habits, the bad habits have to go. The bad habits have to go, and you have to grow. You have to go through this 120-day, 180-day block of growth in your life to be that professional and to build results up for yourself. Lifestyle, all those things entail into your lifestyle. If you're a professional real estate agent, your lifestyle is that, and your lifestyle outside of work has to reflect that. I'll get more into the consume part down there because I really want to elaborate on that for you guys. But to the right, the way the funnel goes is change, consume, and implement. Because again, implementation is super big. And the 5 pillars there is show up, seize every opportunity, network, being uncomfortable, and being the expert. All of these things tie into implementation and doing it in the real world. And I'll show you examples of it to the right. The text message. Dude, you're doing all the correct things, old school selling. I like it, and you will too with the money signs. My manager had sent me that text, my team lead, when I was going from brokerage to brokerage last summer, standing in front of 60 different agents and like all at once and doing a presentation of my listings in my neighborhood and my business. And I've never done public speaking like that. It was uncomfortable. It was weird. I didn't feel quite confident doing it. But every time I would go do it, the next, I was doing it on Thursdays. Every other Thursday I would go do that. And then by the 4th, 5th time, I was confident. I had built up a network of agents. I was showing up because that's all it is. You have to show up to these things. You have to be present in these people's situations, in the real world, in the business to generate business. To the right, I got the marketing flyer. I mean, it's just about how much you want to work. How hard do you want to go? Do you want to spend a little money to make some money? That again is kind of showing people you're an expert. Like, here's the update on the rate. Here's our incentive. Here's this, that, and the other. Showing people you're knowledgeable in the field and that you're willing to work and do a little bit extra than the average person. To the bottom, the contract. That was a Saturday morning at a UGA game, right? All my friends are in Athens, going to the game, having a good time, living life. I was at the office, kind of like, dang, I wish I was doing this, that, and the other. I wish I wasn't here right now. And I write a contract that day. I make $14,000 that day. I showed up. All you have to do is show up, and I seized the opportunity. I had to miss out on something else. In the bottom right pictures is the Corvette in front of a house before we were closing on it. And that's kind of just me, greeting the buyers when their house is closing, showing them I was there through the whole experience, being the expert for them. I was there at the beginning. I was there in the middle. I answered all the questions. I helped them get through this, that, and the other with the financing, with the closing, all that. And I'm there all the way until you take the keys and you walk through the front door by yourself. You have to be the expert. You have to show up. In the bottom right is just a picture of this custom build I was doing for this guy. He's a very successful businessman and didn't have a lot of time on his hands. So I get to, he calls me and he's like, well, I want to see the house. We're midway through construction. I want to see the house. I can only come at 7 a.m. 99% of people aren't going to do that. I'll show up for that guy because, again, I made a promise. I'm a professional. I'm going to be with you through the whole time. I'm going to care more than everybody else. So, yeah, I got there and I was there. And that's a picture on a Saturday morning at like 6:50 in the morning, walking through with this guy. No one else is doing that, but I had to do that because I'm younger, because I had to pay my dues, and I wanted to make money. It's what are you willing to sacrifice to make money at the end of the day is the results you're going to get. So this is part of your change, right? The before of me. Dude, I was an idiot, and that picture on the bottom is crazy to show you guys, but I'm sure a lot of y'all can relate to that. Like, I look like a maniac. But the abyss, this is your hero's journey. You have the abyss and you have the return. The abyss is who you were before today. Who you were before this video, who you were before you got your license, who you were before you wanted to make money and be an entrepreneur in this world. That was me. I've gotten arrested, dude. I've sold drugs. I've done drugs. I've done all that stuff. And it took me a while to understand that I wasn't the victim and that, like I have written here, life is a mirror, not a window. Everything that you think is wrong with your life and wrong with you is not true. You just have to look at what you're doing in your life and look at yourself in the mirror and say, what needs to change? What needs to get better? What do I have to do personally to become the better version of myself? Like I said, going down, you have to decide where you need to change. What fields are you not good at? What parts of life are you not good at? Is it mentally? Is it emotionally? Is it physically? All these sort of things tie into your lifestyle and your routine, which again tie into your business and your personality. And if your lifestyle and your routine isn't right and you aren't the best version of yourself as a person, how can you be the best real estate for these people? Real estate agent for these people? How can you be the best professional for these people? It all entails to who you are at the end of the day. Who are you? What type of person is going to show up and help them through the transaction? Now, this part is the return. The return to, the hero's journey. You figured out what you were bad at. You worked on yourself. You got better. You changed. You innovated your life. The picture's a little bit blurry because my Wi-Fi there we go. But you innovated your life, and you changed. You went through the hardships. You put in the work. You implemented the information. You worked with clients. You weren't at the bars. You weren't at the clubs. And then you have the hero's journey of the part of the return. You return to the glory. You return to the spotlight. This is the new version of yourself. This is who you became, the professional, the expert. And that's me on a yacht in Miami. I went out there. I went to Vegas. I went to LA, and I went to Miami all within like 2 weeks. And I paid for it all. I did it all myself. I was just turned 22. On the right, that's me right before closing, standing in front of the Corvette. Like the return. This is the, again, building confidence in you, but it's reassuring you that the person you're becoming is the person you need to be successful. Every time you're in these positions like these pictures, you got to think to yourself, I earned this, and I am this person now because I changed and the old me was gone forever. Step 2, consume, which is a very, very big step that I really want to spend some time talking to you guys about why information is important in real estate and why you'll see that in your transactions, people are going to wonder about these things. So mentors, number 1. The best thing I ever did for myself was get mentors. Learn from someone who's doing it right. I'll tell you why. You want to learn what they're doing well and what's working for them, and then you want to learn what they've done in the past that did not work for them. You have to shadow someone who is doing the business well, see what they do different than other people, and then what their day looks like, what their habits, what their structure looks like. This will get you closer to success than anything else. Learn what not to do before you have to fail at it yourself. Get a mentor, shadow people, ask all the questions in the world, because the more questions you ask and the more you learn what they did wrong and what they did right, the quicker you can get to become successful in real estate. In the middle, we got news. This is highly important to being an operating real estate agent. You have to know what is going on around the world and what our economy looks like, what the Fed is doing, what interest rate looks like, because the housing market is a direct correlation with our economy. Therefore, you have to know what is going on here in the U.S. and around the whole world 24/7. All people do when it comes to real estate is look at the news and the media. They want to know why this happened, how this is going to affect interest rates, how this is going to affect the pricing, the housing market, how it's going to affect everything. Because you don't realize it, but the housing market and all these loans are government backed. And the more our government is involved with other things and inflation goes up and rates go up, it involves the mortgage price. It involves the house price. So yes, you have to be up to date every single day on what Trump's doing, on what the government's doing, on what the Fed's doing. What's going on in the Middle East might not affect us directly, but it might if we do something about it financially. It might affect the housing market. You have to know all of these things. Step 3, terminology. Everything you learned in your real estate course will come up during transactions. Call me a bullshitter. I promise you I've almost heard it all at this point. You must know what these terms mean and how they are used. This just reassures your expertise and keeps the client's trust in you. You have to know what is being said in each conversation. You have to study the things that you've already learned, keep them retained, and keep putting them into real world situations because it's going to come up. So don't be the person that kind of skipped through the school, chat GBT'd it, this, that, and the other. No, learn it, study it. Once you have your license, keep studying it and keep learning it and implement it, and you'll know it's second nature after time. But you have to understand terminology is one of the biggest things in real estate. You don't want to be the agent that's caught on the other side of the deal, and the other agent brings up something that you didn't really study and you don't really know, and then you don't look as good. You don't look as trusted, and your value just diminished a little bit, and your clients are kind of doubtful of you. That's how you lose clients. That's how you lose listings. Knowledge is everything. Finally, to the end, implementation. And I have the first place medal because that's what you want to be. You want to be number one. You want to be the most trusted, the given the most free value, the most everything. You have to be number one on these people's books because they have to say, wow, number one, he cares more than everybody else. Number two, he knows more than everybody else. He or she, whichever you are. You just have to be number one in all those aspects for these people. Knowledge is useless without action. If you don't implement it and you don't have these uncomfortable conversations, you will not get anything. You will not get any results. You have to have the knowledge, but then you also have to have the balls and the mindset and the heart to put it into real world situations, have those uncomfortable conversations, and go out on a limb and be vulnerable for yourself. In real situations, you must prove your worth by verbally showing the client your expertise. You have to win everybody over. You need to win over the inspectors. You need to win over the appraisers. You need to win over the clients. All these people, you have to prove your worth for every part of the transaction so that the transaction goes smooth. If people don't like you, if there is no value, then that's when deals fall apart. When trust isn't there, deals fall apart. All I really have to say is study, study, and implement, and then you will have a complete different mindset, a different lifestyle, a different routine. You'll be a different individual, and business will come to you. When opportunities come to you, you will seize them. You will be successful. And if you keep proving your worth, it'll build confidence in you, the client's confidence in you. And the more you do that for yourself, the better off you'll be in business, whether you're in real estate or whether you're an entrepreneur on your own. I hope this video helped you. If you have any other questions about real estate, making money, starting your own business, being self-independent, this, that, and the other, DM me on Instagram at TBEUG.